Thank you very much for inviting me once again to come and visit this place and to give a religious talk. And we are also very glad to see Mr. and Mrs. Go, the founder member of this Buddha Dhamma Fellowship. We had a long discussion about the formation of this center at the beginning. So I have given the name Buddha Dhamma Center. Later you have changed into Buddha Dhamma Fellowship, isn't it? Good. Then I also received a fax message from Mr. Go, asking whether I would like to speak on craving, the danger of craving. He says today the whole world is in chaotic condition, violence, bloodshed, upheaval because of this craving. So I said, okay, we discuss this. When you study Christianity and Buddhism, how the first life originated here on this earth. Although these two different religions narrated different stories, but incident is the same. The lesson is the same. Now Christianity says God created Adam and Eve. After that, He created forbidden fruits, tree, and advised them not to eat. Then they say Satan appeared, and he appeared as a snake also, influenced them to take forbidden fruits. After that, they have become sinners, since they have violated the advice given by the God. Then we are sinners today because of that. But some people say, if Adam and Eve were Chinese, we should have escaped from that original sin. Why? Instead of eating forbidden fruit, they may roll up that snake. Then we can escape the original sin. So unfortunately, they were not Chinese. This is the way how some people joke, with this kind of incident. Now let us come back to the teachings of the Buddha. He says, there is neither beginning nor end of world system. World come into existence, change, decay, disintegrate. Dispersed particles, molecules, again start to accumulate. After a long time, then the formation again takes place. This is the way how the Buddha has explained the beginning and the end. Any part of the universe, whether the sun or the moons or galaxies or anything that which exists, they come into existence due to combinations of elements and energies. But this never remain as a bundle without changing, decaying, separating and disintegrating. And those energies and elements again combine together, formation takes place. That is why he says there is neither beginning nor end. Beginning can become the, create the end create the beginning. Just like birth become the cause of death. Death become the cause of birth. If there is no birth, there is no death. If there is no death, there is no birth. Setting sun here in this country become the rising sun in another country. This is the ending, that is the beginning. So our life is exactly like this. Then the Buddha explained in this way. When the formation has taken place, certain devas who exist in some other planet, other world system, having seen what it is, for curiosity's sake, they have come down. When they come down to this earth, they had very tempting aroma. That is the cream of the earth. So they wanted to test. After that, just like they tested, very tasty. They never had this kind of taste in their life. Better than durian ice cream. After that, they developed worldly craving. Because of this craving, they have lost their energy, their power to go back. So they had to settle down. That is the beginning. But here, craving is the main cause. Buddhism and Christianity both narrated different stories, but craving is the main cause of suffering. No controversy. Craving divided into three groups. Kama tanha, bhava tanha, vibhava tanha. Craving for sensual pleasure. Every living being, big or small, maintain some sort of craving for sensual pleasure. Craving for existence, survival, and rebirth, and eternal life. Craving for non-existence. That is, when people could not gain what they wanted, they have no courage to tolerate, decide to commit suicide. Crave not to exist, because cannot tolerate. If not, some others, due to their skeptical belief, without studying, without thinking, without considering, they say, we don't like to have another life hereafter. They crave not to exist again. Craving for non-existence. These three things explained by the Buddha, supported by modern psychology. The more they discover, the more they come nearer to the Buddha. Scientists, psychologists, great thinkers, rationalists, highly intellectuals, all over the world, whatever they discover, they come nearer to the Buddha, but go far away from other religions. So modern psychology also analyzes these three things. They say every living being has libido, self-preservation, suicide instinct. Every living being. Then what is libido? The Buddha used craving for sensual pleasure. Psychology says libido more on sexual side. Sexual urge. It is common, it is natural in every living being. Sexual urge. It is craving. It is natural. Then self-preservation. To protect their life, they are willing to do anything in this earth. Every living being. How they struggle to protect their life. And how we struggle to protect our life. We are willing to destroy thousands of other living beings for our survival, our protection. So our craving is so grave, so deep, we can do any nasty, wicked thing in this world for our protection. That is craving. Then the last one, they introduce suicide instinct. Every living being, by nature, they have this instinct. I think you have heard snakes, frogs, divide into two groups and start to attack each other and kill. That is suicide instinct. They want to kill. And certain countries, the rats, those who live in the jungle close to the sea beach, millions of them at once get into the sea. All disappear. Suicide instinct. These are natural occurrences. Now you can understand how far they have approached the teachings of the Buddha. Then again we have to divide our craving into three groups. We crave for others' properties or belonging. We think how nice. If they die, we can get all our property. Even children think if they are rich, father and mother die earlier, so much the better, we can take all their properties. That is great. And certain people have planted time bomb when their rich father traveled by a plane to kill him. See how dangerous this craving. We can do any nasty, wicked, cruel thing to gain something for our own, to satisfy our own craving. So, the Buddha tried to introduce this in this way. He never advised anybody to give up everything, renounce everybody. His advice is, you must have contentment. Contentment means, this is enough for me, or this is enough for our family. That is called contentment. If we can maintain this contentment, then jealousy never appears in that mind, because we are content. After that, anger never appears in that mind. Then free from violence and bloodshed. Started from such a small thing, contentment. Santutti paramang dhanam. The way how Buddha explained. Contentment is the highest wealth. Rich man is not a wealthy man. Rich man is a person who always suffers. Fear, worries, suspicion, insecurity because of his property. Any moment people may kidnap or bluff, swindle, cheat. Then where is happiness? Always in fear. Therefore, rich man is not a wealthy man. But the man who has contentment is the wealthy man. He doesn't worry about others. He never develops jealousy when others enjoy their life. Because this is enough for us. Why do we worry about others? When we develop this contentment, we can avoid so many problems and difficulties and enmity and anger, misunderstanding that we create. So after developing this, then we have to come to our physical body. We have very strong attachment and craving toward our body, thinking this is our life. This is not the life. This is the house where our life settled down. The life lives in this house. So when this house is going on decaying and decaying, one day it will collapse. Cannot stay in that house anymore. Then proceed, go away. Life goes away. Life cannot die. Because life is an energy, there is nothing to die. When the house is decaying, cannot stay, the life goes away. This life is supported by mental energy and the karmic energy. The karma that we have accumulated as good karma or bad karma and the mental energy support to life energy, life process. Then transmit. Left only the old house where that life lived. So we respect and perform ceremonies, cremation, burial, lot of rites and rituals. It is for that house where that person lived. He is not here. He has gone. So, uncertainty in our life, we have to understand in this. Cannot settle down in one particular place. Always going on changing. It will take place, it will continue because of our craving. If there is no craving, cannot continue life after life. So stop. Because after gaining enlightenment under the Bodhi tree, the Buddha uttered this word, Tanhanang Kaya Majjaga. Now, no more craving in my mind. Completely eradicated. No more craving. Natti dani punabhavo. I am not going to have another rebirth after this. This is the end of my journey. That is called final salvation. Stop birth and death and birth and death. Stop. That is called final salvation. So here he mentioned, he had to suffer endless period because he could not find out who is the culprit to erect this house and to suffer. Now I understood. I am free. That is craving. Then, the craving that we develop toward the body, we can become very cruel or wicked to do any bad thing, to protect our body. We are willing to spend millions of dollars to protect this body. But this body is our enemy. Body is the one that which create all our problems. Very ungrateful. The way how we look after and attend and clean and bathe and support and assist. But the body create ache and pain and sicknesses and suffering whole day and night. We have to suffer because of this body. Again, when you grow old, we can see. We cannot maintain, we cannot carry, we cannot balance our body, how we suffer. So if we can understand this, then we can reduce that too much of attachment that we have towards our body to do bad things. To support our body, we do lot of bad things. So we can stop all those bad things, knowing why should we commit all those bad things to support this impermanent, what you call, very miserable, very ugly, very dirty, very filthy physical body. One of the disciples of the Buddha, called Vakkali, every day come and sit down and watch the features of the Buddha. So the Buddha asked, what are you doing here? He said, when I look at your physical body, your features, your complexion, the serenity, I gain wonderful happiness. Then the Buddha said, Kinte vakkali imina putikayena duggandena sarire. What do you gain by watching this dirty, filthy, impermanent physical body? Nothing. You entertain your emotion. That's all. You never gain any knowledge or wisdom or purity or understanding. Just entertain your emotion. The Buddha was not in favor of erecting images. They started to erect Buddha images 500 years after the Buddha. Before that, they never had the Buddha image. Because people developed some sort of attachment toward the image. The Buddha knew this. He did not encourage. But some people know how to make use of the image. Concentrating and understanding great qualities, virtues, knowledge and wisdom and enlightenment by watching that figure. But not only for worshipping. That is why Muslims and Christians and some others condemn us as idol worshippers. They don't like. But we are not idol worshippers. They don't know what we are doing. We can practice Buddhism without any image. But image is important to many people to concentrate and control the mind. So, then the Buddha says, Yo dhammang passati somang passati. Instead of watching this physical body, if you can understand the Dhamma that I have taught, through this Dhamma, you can see the real Buddha. The Buddha you cannot see the physical Buddha. The real Buddha you can see when the Dharma, understanding of the truth, realized, understood. The confidence that we gain, create the vision of the Buddha. That is not artificial one. That is real Buddha. Buddha does not mean the body. The person, when he gains enlightenment, he is called Buddha. So the Buddha does not mean that body. Mahayana Buddhism says the Buddha never died. Why? Some people say Buddha is dead and gone. Why do we worship? What can he do? What can he do for us? How can he bless or save us? So, the monks could not console the public. What they have done, to develop their devotion, confidence, they have introduced about 700 years after the Buddha. They introduced to worship bodhisattvas. Earlier there was no such system. They introduced Sukhavati, pure land. Then people accept. If they have not introduced these two things, worshipping, praying to bodhisattvas and pure land or Sukhavati, I don't think today the single Buddhist in China, Japan, Korea, Mongolia and Tibet, they accepted Buddhism because of this. They can satisfy. Whether true or not, that is not the important thing. They can lead the Buddhist way of life in that way. So here, what the Buddha is trying to say, don't become slaves to your physical body. Don't break your principles, qualities, virtues, precepts because of your physical body. Then, too much of craving toward the physical body we can reduce to avoid the evil, immoral thing to support the body. There's a saying, Dhanang tajeyo pana anghetu, angang chajang jivitang rakkamano. When the life is in danger, if doctors say we had to amputate your leg, we agree. We agree to sacrifice the leg to protect the life or the body. After that, dhanang chajeyo panang hetu. Angang dhanang jivitang chapi saddha. We are willing to sacrifice our body when the life is in danger. The body is not the life. We are willing to sacrifice our life and the body to save others, to protect others, to serve others. Now then, reduce. Extraordinary craving that we had toward the body, we reduce. So we had to start step by step, not at once. Now we could manage to reduce too much of attachment we had toward the physical body. Still we have craving. Craving for pleasure. We want to indulge, please our senses to gain pleasure. Also willing to do bad things, immoral things. Now then, what do we gain in the end by indulging our senses? Nothing. Now when people are very young, they enjoy their life. Indulge. Eating, drinking, merrymaking and doing all sort of things to please the senses. When they grow old, can they enjoy or do they gain happiness by thinking how they enjoyed their life when they were young? They get frustration, disappointment. Therefore, by indulging senses, sensual pleasure, in the end we never gain anything. But we have to face the bad effects. Now, craving for life. We went on reducing. Now remain only one thing, craving for our life. I told you, life is not the body. How do we crave for our life? We like to be born in rich family, to enjoy our life, and to go to heaven and enjoy our life, and wherever we can enjoy pleasurable life, craving is there for that life. We create this in our mind. Because of this craving, that life never get the chance to end mental suffering. Mental sufferings are heavier than the physical suffering. 75% of sufferings we experience from our minds. Within one day, how many times we gain fear, worry, suspicion, insecurity, jealousy, anger, all the evil forces always appear, disappear. So the mind suffer more, but not the physical body. When the elements of the body cannot balance or friction, that imbalance create either sickness or ache or pain or decay. So elements are responsible. When the mind is polluted, that polluted mind influence the physical body. Effects. Immediately we can see the effect, side effect. Due to sudden shock or anger, what sort of reaction, side effect, immediately people experience. Those who suffer from high blood pressure, heart trouble, when suddenly anger flare up, get stroke or heart attack or die. Mind created. When that shock of fear influence the brain cells, Hormone become poisonous. Squeeze, poisons. Then rashes all over the body created by the mind, immediately. And certain other sicknesses that we suffer, most of them created by the mind, polluted mind. Take time. Nervous system, blood circulation, heart attack, stomach, mind creates all these things. Because mind cannot satisfy. Mind cannot console the craving. The advice given by the Buddha is this: by providing what our craving needs, you never satisfy your craving. The more you give, the more anger we create. Example is given: when there is a heap of fire, to stop this, you throw more and more firewood to stop this. The flare go higher and higher. Therefore, we never get the chance to console our craving by providing, supplying what our craving needs. But through understanding, maintaining contentment. Everybody gets the chance to live peacefully if all of us have contentment. Why people all over the world declare war, violence, bloodshed, kill each other? They are craving, selfishness, create jealousy, then anger, then declare war and violence. The whole world. When you look at the animal kingdom, National Geographic programs, television, you have seen what a big battle. Lions and tigers and pythons and crocodiles, how they try to catch others and kill others, how others try to escape, run and run and run and run. This is the nature of the world. That is for their survival. But human beings cannot satisfy by gaining their food or lodging or whatever they need. Animals can satisfy. That is why they never declare war for unnecessary things. They can go and sleep after eating. But we cannot sleep because our craving is very, very deep, our emotion. We are not ready to accept that our own craving creates all these problems. When we reduce that craving to our life, birth and death and birth and death and birth and death continue, and we reduce, then one day we get the chance to stop all our physical and mental suffering because we have ended our journey. That is called salvation. Now, there's another important problem. People say Buddhism teaches that we should not develop craving. In that case, we are studying to become doctors, lawyers, engineers and business people. Is it not craving? Then how can we live? We must understand this. I have written a booklet also on that subject. Is it wrong to be ambitious? Ambition is one thing. Craving is another thing. Now the Buddha had the ambition, aiming to gain enlightenment. It depends on the purpose, the motivation of ambition. To become more rich than millionaires, or to enjoy our life, or to gain our knowledge and wisdom and enlightenment and purity. Ambition. Then we need our requisites. For our living, we need food. We need shelter. We need clothing. and we need medicine. These, the word need means we crave for that. We cannot use the word craving for this. We need these requisites for our survival. That concept is not under this craving. We do not pollute our mind by working hard to satisfy. Example, the Buddha says, you must have 4 kinds of happiness. If you have not renounced the worldly life, you must have 4 kinds of happiness. Otherwise, you cannot lead a pleasant, peaceful, contented worldly life. Atti sukha, bhoga sukha, anana sukha, anavajya. Sukha means happiness. Atti sukha. We must have something to tell this is mine. My house, my land, my business, my bank account, my jewelries. That gives happiness. That happiness is important for you. Who says this? The Buddha. According to your way of life, that happiness is important. But to me it is not very important. Because my way of life is different. Bhoga sukha, second one. You work very hard, you earn, but you don't want to enjoy your life. You go on collecting, accumulating, dumping. One day kick the bucket. Finish it. Nothing. The Buddha says, no, you must enjoy. You are not going against any religion. Enjoy respectable way, reasonable way, gentle way, without adopting any immoral or cruel or harmful method. Enjoy your life. So don't think the Buddhism advises people not to enjoy their life. Because people accumulate, collect without eating, without even using proper clothing. Craving is so big, they don't want to spend. The Buddha says, no, that is not the way. You must enjoy. But there will be a day for you to renounce all this. But not immediate. First you have to lead the normal, natural way of life. Then, when maturity, experience, knowledge, understanding appears in the mind, then reduce. What you have accumulated. Third one, he says, anana sukha, indebtedness. So when you come to know you have not borrowed anything from anybody, you could manage to maintain by knowing your income and expenditure very carefully. So you are not indebted to anybody. That happiness also important. Self-respect. We are not indebted to anybody. We must have that in our mind. Last one is anavajya sukha, the guilty feeling in our mind. I have done this, I have done so much of damages, I have bluffed and swindled, I have created violence. If there is no such feeling in our mind to maintain such guilty feeling, that happiness is greater than all the other 3. Why? The other 3 gives happiness while we are living, but not hereafter. But the last happiness, that maintain our mind without having any guilty feeling, support us for our next existence. Because we depart from this world with hope and confidence. Because we know we have not done any harm to anybody. There was a Buddhist scholar in Australia, David Morris. He has written many Buddhist books also. So one day I received a letter from him. He has written, Reverend Sir, I think you will be very happy to know that I died today. Then he says, there are two reasons for you to be happy. As an old man who had been suffering very painful sicknesses, after my death I will be free from that pain. So you must be happy about that. Second reason, ever since that I accepted Buddhism. He was not a born Buddhist. Ever since I accepted Buddhism, I tried my best not to violate, not to break any of the five precepts. So if there is another life hereafter, after our death, that life cannot become miserable. This is the second reason why we should be happy. This clearly shows he had full confidence that his next existence cannot become miserable. That is what this last happiness gives us confidence. So while we are living here, every day we are molding our next existence. Our thoughts, our words, our actions. So when we are going to depart from this world, all those karmic energies that we have accumulated in the subconscious mind started to project. Now then, before our death, we catch and hold on one particular karmic energy, karmic thought. Then rebirth, next existence take place according to that karma that we have been holding. This is the nature of birth and death. So, without developing craving for others' things, without developing jealousy and problems and troubles and discrimination, if we know how to look after our own property without craving for others enough, then one day we come to know this is a burden, this is a nuisance, I have no peace because of these things. Then try to hand over to their children, or if not, donate to them charitable institute. The mind will be free from burdens and responsibilities. And this method was a very ancient Indian philosophy, clearly mentioned, dharma, artha, kama, moksha. The whole life divided into 4 periods, from the beginning up to the end. Dharma. First we must learn discipline, our behavior, our way of life, to lead the gentle way of life. Otherwise everything will be upset. That means when we are young, we have to learn all these things. Discipline, how to behave, what to do, what not to do, morals and immorals. First period. Then the second is artha. Artha means earning. So you can start your business, whatever you like, to earn. It is natural, it is important. No one can say it is wrong. The second period of your life, you have to spend for earning by doing something. Then you are preparing your way of life. Why? You must have opportunities to experience sensual pleasure. Without any income, if you start to enjoy your worldly life, you get into trouble. Therefore, very systematically introduce this. First, you must learn discipline, behavior, correct. After that, you have to work. You have to do something. So when you got something enough, then you can enjoy your life. Reasonable way. Dharma, artha, kama. Then, now getting old. You have to forget your business, your sensual pleasure. You have seen, you have done. That is enough. Then start a new life. What is that? You have to think very seriously, there will be another existence for me. Time has come for me to depart from here to start a new life, another life. Therefore, I had to prepare for this. Forget about all these business, all these, what you call pleasure. Have free mind by reducing anger, enmity, jealousy, ill will, grudge, and throw away all this rubbish. Have free mind. Don't develop too much of attachment toward your property. Hand over. Then your mind will be free. So one day, we will be able to say goodbye peacefully, without fear, without worries, without suspicion, without confusion, with hopes and confidence, we can depart from this world. Then start to build another one. This is the way how Buddha has introduced. So when we say craving is the main cause of all our suffering, it is true. But we must know how to differentiate what are the cravings that which create our suffering. What are the things that we need for our survival, for our duties, our responsibilities. Then we can settle this problem. Again, Buddha says, you must have 4 more great qualities. What are those? Arakka sampada, utthana sampada, kalyana mitrata, samajivita. Also very important. These qualities we must have. Utthana sampada. Don't be lazy. Get up, go out, do some work. Each and every person can do something within his or her understanding capacity. Do something without wasting your life. See, the Buddha who appeared in this world by renouncing all his kingdom and advised us also to follow him. But by knowing the worldly life, he gave this advice. Do something. Then he says, Arakka sampada. You must know how to protect what you have earned without neglecting, without wasting, or without allowing fire and water to destroy, or without allowing thieves to come and take away, or without allowing government to come and confiscate. You must know how to protect what you have earned. See the advice given by the Arakka sampada. Kalyana mitrata. All of us must have a reliable or trustworthy friend. Otherwise we feel very dull. When we have a very trustworthy, reliable friend, we get some sort of consolation, confidence, knowing that if we get into trouble at any time, that person come and give helping hand. But relatives are very dangerous sometimes. Only blood relationship, no mental relationship. Visvasa paramanyati. Sayings of the book. Trustworthy person is the real relative, not those who have blood relationship. Because mental relationship is more active than the blood relationship. Blood relationship always come and claim something. But mental relationship always support each other. So if you have very good friend that we can rely, that gives lot of satisfaction, advice given by this. Then Samajivikata, the Buddhist economy. He said, whatever you earn, your monthly salary, you have to divide into 4. Assume you earn only 1,000 per month. Then divide into 4. 250. Ekena bhoge bhunjaya. You can spend only 250 for your food. Not more than that. Drihi kammang payoje, 2 portion. That means 500. 500 you had to spend for your duties, responsibilities, obligations, and tax and payments and for everything. Only 500, not more than that. Now, only 250 left. Chatuttancha nidhape. You cannot touch this 250. Deposit, invest. Either fixed deposit or share market. Not investment. See the Buddha's advice. Knowing your need, your way of life. Then you never get into trouble if you handle in this way. Carry on your way of life without worrying, without thinking, and without creating frustration, disappointment. You must know how to handle, how to balance. So, actually when we talk about Buddhism, we talk something else which we cannot understand. I remember 2 years ago I was invited to attend a religious forum in Taiwan. The topic was Pure Land. There were 61 delegates, most of them are scholars, Europeans. Then one group says, in reality there is no such place as Pure Land. This is imaginary. People have created this just to influence others. Therefore there is no such place in reality. Then another group says, we can turn any land into pure land if our minds are pure. Purity is not in the land. How can you find purity in the land? If the mind is pure, we can convert this into pure. Even sacred places, we say this is a very sacred place, you must worship. But that place is not sacred at all. Our mind created that this is the sacred place. After that we accept. Now let us take, we say this is the place where Buddha was born. But many people do not know. Sometimes people go and pass urine also, because they do not know. But when we come to know where the Buddha was born, our mind creates, oh, this is a holy place, sacred place, therefore we must worship. We create it. Therefore, religion is not in the temple or in the church or in the mosque or in the kovil. Religion is in our mind. We convert those buildings into churches and temples and mosques and worship and made sacred places by using our mind, our religious mind. Otherwise, by nature, there is no such object as pure. So, this group says, we can convert any land into pure land if our minds are pure. Another group say, no, definitely there is a place called pure land, and we strongly believe. So divided into 3 groups. 4 days. Last day, closing ceremony. 61 scholars, different countries. I told them, 4 days we have wasted our life for nothing. What have we learned? What have we contribution for the peace or happiness or prosperous or what we need? We have been talking something which you cannot understand. No one can understand. Can you tell me anything what you gain by talking? Created more confusion, divided into different groups. Why can't we talk something? What Buddhism can contribute to serve humanity who are facing enormous troubles and problems and worries and war and this and that? Why can't we discuss something? Finally, they say, yes, I think next time we will see something really important. Likewise, when you talk about religion, no, Buddhism or anything, talk something for us to learn and to practice and to see the result. The Buddha taught only these three things. You say, pariyatti, patipatti, pativeda. He did not ask us to believe anything. There is nothing to believe. We believe when we cannot understand. If we know, we never say, I believe. I believe this is cup of tea. If I know this is tea, I never say, I believe this is a cup of tea. So, the word belief is not very important in Buddhism. Understand. He started his mission with right understanding. Sammaditthi, 8 noble paths. First item, right understanding. The foundation. If understanding is correct, then we can build up. Go ahead. If understanding is wrong, everything will collapse later. We can believe any rubbish as truth, but later, when more experience and knowledge and understanding appear in our mind, we come to know that there's no value at all what we believe. Therefore, Buddha did not encourage anybody to believe anything, but try to understand. He says, first study, then practice. After that you can experience whether right or wrong. No need to believe. I remember one day a Christian priest came to our temple with his followers for a dialogue. Very friendly dialogue. In the end, that Christian priest asked, can you tell me actually what Buddhists believe? And I told him, tell you very frankly, Buddhists do not believe anything. He got a shock. Then he has seen my book in the cupboard, what Buddhists believe. He pointed out. Then, why did you write that book? Then I told him, you better read that book. Whether there is anything for you to believe, nothing. Then what they do? Then I told them, they study, they practice, they experience. Nothing to believe. Recently I was invited to the Catholic Church to be a Buddhist talk. After my talk, somebody asked this question. Now you say, the Buddha said like this. We say, Jesus said like this. Who is right? I told him, you can forget your Jesus. I can forget the Buddha. Let us use our common sense unbiasedly. Then we can understand who is right, who is wrong. Example. The Buddha says, we should not steal. Jesus says, thou shalt not steal. Do you think without Buddha, without Jesus, we cannot understand that stealing is bad? Why do you want to depend on them? That is what the Buddha wanted. He did not introduce religious law, religious commandment, religious punishment. What he wanted to teach us how to think, how to understand what is right and what is wrong. Not to say, oh, Jesus says like this, therefore we cannot do. Or the Buddha says, therefore we cannot do this. Not in that way. That language is for small children, not for us. If the mommy say, I cannot eat this, Papa say, I cannot go there. Because they cannot understand. The Buddha never teach like this. He treated us as thinking human beings, not like animal to be trained by threatening and frightening. Because he knew we have thinking mind. So he enriched our mind to understand. Through this understanding, then we come to know. This example is again another. the Buddha says, if you cannot understand why killing is bad, then you have to think, attanang upamang kattva nahaneya nagati. When another person comes and tries to kill you, either cutting or shooting or beating, how do you feel? Then you must understand, when you try to do this to another person, that person also gets the same feeling that you had. That is more than enough for you to understand why it is bad. Is it necessary to get the order from heaven to understand that it is bad? This is Buddha's way of teaching. Our own experience, thinking, understand. Not by getting orders or commandments from heaven or from Buddha or anybody. The Buddha is a teacher. He is a master. He wanted to guide us how to think, how to talk, how to work, very respectable way. By our own thinking, following our own thinking. Yes, more than an hour. You can have some questions or whatever you like. If you've got time. Universal love, animals love, different type of love. In any kind of selfish love, you experience either violence, misunderstanding, enmity, and disturbance in the end, because it is selfish. If there is no selfishness, no love. Husband and wife love each other. It is selfish love. Because of this love, they fight with each other. How many times they fight? Fight and quarrel and argue or separate or beat each other. That is the nature of selfish love. Parents and children, selfish love. Children depend on parents, expect something from the parent, therefore they love. Parents also expect something from the children, therefore they attend to them, they love them. If they neglect, then trouble. It is selfish. Although it is selfish, that is important. Why? There is no another method to console, entertain human emotion. Love. Husband and wife, emotional love. But selfishness is there. Parents and children. How parents, what sort of emotional satisfaction they gain to console themselves when they hold their children, when they play with their children. That emotional satisfaction they cannot gain from another. Again, when how that baby or child feel when mother come and hold and feed milk. That is emotional love, satisfaction, they need that. But because of this love, then the side effect. Suddenly, one of your beloved child, due to accident or some other unfortunate thing, died. Now you cannot tolerate this. You had too much of love and attachment toward this child. Now you cannot tolerate it. You go mad. Here the advice given by the Buddha is this. You can have this love. You can have this attachment. But you must understand that one day, definitely, something that we cannot satisfy, something we cannot accept may take place. Therefore, you have to develop your love and attachment with this understanding. Then, if anything happens later, you know how to control your mind. Otherwise, no. A doctor who was giving free treatment on full moon day in his clinic. Somebody came and told him suddenly, his younger son died. His pet, very young boy, died. Then the doctor said, if he dead, I cannot do anything. I am a doctor. Here there are many people who need my service. So I will attend to them and come home. Ask others to prepare for everything. He had that courage to understand, to control himself. The love that he had toward the child, he knew one day this may happen. So he did not create any commotions. He did not cry, he did not shout. He had the courage to face this. Therefore, love and affection and attachment we had to develop with this understanding. Otherwise, we get into trouble. Anything else? Because when you pay attention towards some recitals, especially the words come out from the Buddha's mouth for the well-being of others, then you gain confidence and your devotion, pay attention by stopping all the other thinking. So during that period, you protect your mind without allowing any evil thought to disturb the mind. So the mind is very pure. Even few minutes that you spend, pay attention. Again, the one who recites to bless the devotees also must have compassion, kindness towards the devotees who listen, pay attention towards the chanting and blessing. So he must radiate his compassion towards the devotees. Then the mental harmony, the focus, mental energy with kindness, compassion, and devotion and confidence that you attune in your mind to receive the blessing, that creates some sort of inspiration in your mind. That inspiration spread all over the body. Just now I mentioned the brain cell, gland, hormone, blood circulation, all these things get the chance to function in normal way. Otherwise, mind always disturbs it. Then people come and say, yes, I have been suffering from this sickness, now I am free and get cured. What happened? By developing devotion, confidence and harmonizing the mental vibration, these inspirations and energy that created in the mind supported the immune system, healing system in the body. That is what others say, miraculous cure and all sort of thing other religions use. There is no miracle at all. It is psychological. The mind creates this. Because when the immune system or antibody or healing power is weakened, any amount of medicine what we take, no effect at all. Without taking any medicine, we can get cured from many sicknesses if that healing power is dynamic in our body. Through this devotions and confidence, you support that immune system. Then you feel very normal later. 2500 years we have been practicing this. Always devotees come and tell us this. They had the opportunity to get rid of so many problems and sicknesses and disturbances. That is the way how it really works. Bhavatu sabba mangalang rakhantu sabba devata sabba buddhanu bhavena sada sutti bhavantu te bhavatu sabba mangalang rakhantu sabba devata sabba dhammanu bhavena तदा सुत्ति भवन्तु ते भवतु सर्वमङ्गलं रक्षन्तु सर्वदेवता सर्वसङ्घानुभावेन तदा सुत्ति भवन्तु ते नक्षत्रयज्ञभूतानां पापग्रहनिवारणा परित्तस्सानुभावेन हन्त्वा ते समुपद्रवे नक्षत्रयज्ञभूतानां पापग्रहनिवारणा परित्तस्सानुभावेन हन्त्वा ते समुपद्रवे नक्षत्रयज्ञभूतानां पापग्रहनिवारणा परित्तस्सानुभावेन हन्त्वा ते समुपद्रवे अन्धुन्निमित्तं अवमङ्गलं च यो चामनापो सकुनस्य सद्दो पापग्रहो दुष्पिनं अकन्तं बुद्धानुभावेन विनाशमेन्तु धम्मानुभावेन विनाशमेन्तु संघानुभावेन विनाशमेन्तु दुःखपत्ता च निर्दुःखा भयपत्ता च निर्भया शोकपत्ता च निःशोका हन्तु सब्बे पिपानिनो सब्बे बुद्धा बलपत्ता पच्चेकानं चयं बलम् अरहन्तानं च तेजेन रक्षं बन्धामि सब्बसो Say sadhu. So good health and peace of life to all of you. Thank you.